There, this is Wendy. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to just make some cards together. That's all. I'm just going to make some random cards using the Butterfly Gala stamp set. And I am mass producing these cards. So I have it all set up here. I have a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 inch Whisper White thick cardstock. I've got my Memento Tuxedo black ink. And I've positioned my butterflies and my sentiment in my Stamparatus so that they will stamp perfectly in place each time. And then I am just going to go and stamp a whole bunch of these. So I loved this sentiment. Sometimes, let's just have some real talk. Sometimes I forget about all the beautiful stamp sets I have because I get so caught up in looking at the new ones or using whatever's brand new that's just come out. And so I was determined to find a sentiment that I really loved, and not just what it said, but like the way it was designed. And I really, really, really loved these sentiments. And then I thought, why not use the butterfly? They don't have to be punched out. So we're going to talk about some tips for mass producing as well. So first of all, my number one tip is to cut all your pieces first. Just sit and cut everything. If that means die cutting, paper trimming, whatever it is, just sit and do all of those things first. And then you can stack them all up in a line for your assembly line. Then do all of your stamping. For me, this is how it goes the quickest, and it kind of like breaks it up. I can't imagine mass producing cards and making one full card at a time. That to me would take way too much time. So get all your pieces cut, get them all stacked, get them all lined up, then do all of your stamping. And here's another tip. If you're mass producing cards for something and you don't want it to take 19 million years, then keep it simple like this. This is a very simple card, but in the end, it's beautiful. And I feel like it's just as pretty as some of my more complicated cards. In fact, if not prettier. So here I'm showing you a couple of different options. So in this butterfly here, I'm coloring him Pool Party that's on the top, and then Daffodil Delight on the bottom. And I'm doing some blending. And then I have some that I'm coloring a bunch of different colors. But I also am just stamping. So you have those options as well, where you can just take the full colored stamp and just stamp the butterfly, because this stamp set has the I don't know what you would call it, filling, the filling for the butterflies. So you can stamp them or you can color them in, which I think is a really great option. Okay, so let's catch up and chit chat while I'm coloring and making these cards, because they're so simple. There's nothing to them. Anybody could make these. And so there's not a whole lot to tell you. So let's catch up. Okay, so earlier this week was my husband's birthday. He turned 45, and I asked him what he wanted for dinner, and he said hamburgers. He loves hamburgers, and he loves pizza and nachos. In fact, I went over this in my Facebook Live, but really quick. Anyway, I made hamburgers and on the barbecue, and my daughter found a recipe in this book that my aunt gave her that is like sweet treats for kids, so that the recipes are simple enough that a child can make them without any help. And I mean, like an older child. I probably wouldn't turn a 3-year-old loose in the kitchen, but my daughter's 11, so she's perfectly capable, and she made the cookies completely by herself. She only had to ask me like one question because she didn't quite understand something, and that was it. She made them herself. So she made him cookies, and I made burgers, and I made potatoes. And I quartered the potatoes, covered them in avocado oil, and a seasoning that I got in Greece when I went to Greece last year. And then I popped them into the air fryer. So side note, let's talk about air fryers for just a second. If you don't have an air fryer, it should be at the top of your list of things to get for your kitchen, because the thing is amazing. And here's the thing. I'm not one to run out and buy something when something first kind of comes on the market. I want to wait and see. I'm a careful consumer. I want to wait and see if people are like, yeah, this thing sucks. I don't, stupid, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to use it. Or if people are like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. So all of that being said, I decided to ask for an air fryer for Christmas last year. I actually asked for one from my mother-in-law, and I asked for one from my husband. So I ended up getting two, and I kept the one from my mom-in-law because she got me a really nice Emerald Lagasse one. And I took the other one back and got something else with it, with the money. But I will link to the one that I have below the video so that if you want to buy it, you can. But I absolutely love it. It has a rotisserie thing, so I could do a rotisserie chicken, which I have not done yet, but it's on my list to try. And it would have to probably be like a Cornish game hen, not like a big giant chicken. And then it has trays, and then it also has the little basket that rotates inside. So it's fancy, and you can dehydrate with it too. So there's all kinds of cool things it does. I have only tipped the iceberg with its possibilities. So anyway, yes, I made those potatoes, which he loves. I quartered them, put the avocado oil on them, put the seasoning, pop them in the air fryer for 20 minutes. They are perfectly cooked, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. They're amazing. And the only thing we've done in the air fryer that has not worked out well is catfish. I don't know why. I don't know what I did wrong, but I probably didn't cook it the right temperature or long enough or something, but it was not very good. So I'm still determined to try to figure that out. Okay. So we make the dinner, and 6 o'clock rolls around. He's still not home. He's normally home at 5:30. And then 7 o'clock rolls around, and he's still not home. Still haven't heard from him, which is really weird. Usually if he is late or is going to be late because of work, he texts. So still hadn't heard from him. So then I text a friend of ours who works at the same company. I mean, he's a lineman also, but he does not work on the same crew. But I thought, sometimes they know what other crews are doing. So I text and I said, hey, I text his wife, is Mike home yet? And do you have any idea if he knows what's going on with Kevin's crew? Are they working? What's happening? So she texts me back, he's not home yet, I'll let you know. So about 7:15, she texts and says, he saw him this morning. That's the last time he saw him. He doesn't know anything else. And I'm like, okay, fine. So 8 o'clock comes and rolls around. I finally get a text. And by this time, I've worked myself into a frenzy. I'm convinced he's dead in a ditch somewhere. This is my problem. I have way too much. I worry too much. Even though logically I know he's probably just up on a power pole somewhere fixing power and cannot text or call. Very unusual that he can't do that, but it happens. So he calls, and of course he said somebody had hit a pole, which happens all the time, by the way, in case you didn't know. People hit power poles all the time. Like, it is what keeps my husband working overtime. If people didn't hit power poles, he would never work overtime. So, which is really sad, right? Like, because somebody probably got majorly injured. It wrecked their day. They had a bad day. That's the end of the story right there. So he was fixing one of those with his crew and he was heading home. So he did eat when he got home, but we were bummed because we were wanting him to come home to a nice freshly cooked dinner, fresh cooked cookies. So my daughter and I ate way earlier. Like, we ate at 6. We gave up. We didn't even wait that long. He's normally home at 5:30. When he wasn't home at 6, we were like, let's eat. So we ate, and when he got home, he had dinner. And he hadn't even had lunch that day, poor guy. I swear, he goes without eating sometimes for so long. It's so bad. Anyway, so that's what we had happen this week. My daughter had a big crash on her bike last week. I shared that on social media, and it was really bad. But she's doing way, way better. She's all healed up. I'm not going to go into details because it's disgusting. But bottom line is, she's really healing nicely and doing really, really well. And then what else? Oh, we have a baby chick in the house that we're raising. And I'm having a hard time now trying to figure out how to transition it into the coop with all the big chickens, because I don't actually think it's ready to... I need it to get a little bit warmer. I need the weather to warm up just a little bit more so that I don't have to worry about the baby at night. So baby chickens need the warmth from their mother in order to stay. If they get a chill, it can kill them. So this chick has all of its feathers except on its head. So I feel like it's still not quite ready to be able to go by itself into the coop and fend for itself. But at the same time, it's getting a little bit big to be in the house, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. We've got it in a box, which I feel super bad about. I mean, it's a big box, but we don't have anything else to put it inside in the house. So I'm really wanting it to get moved out so that I can quit feeling bad, first and foremost. And secondly, I'm tired of my dog. So we have Truvy, who's a Vizsla. So she's a bird dog. And I'm sick to death of her obsessing over the chicken in the bedroom. She's driving me nuts. Anyway, I digress. Okay, epoxy elements going down onto each butterfly, which really just finishes these butterflies off, in my opinion, and ties it all in. I feel like that's the perfect little element that these cards needed to just give them that perfect little touch. So if you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below. If you want to purchase any of these products, you can at my shop, shoploveandstampin.com. It was nice to catch up with you today. If you have anything going on, let me know. Comment below. Talk to you later. Bye.